All right, geometry students, welcome back. We are continuing on in our proofs. Last week we did segment relationships. This week we are doing angle relationships. So we have, what we need to remember is supplementary angles and complementary angles. And remember, supplementary angles, they add up to 180 degrees. Ooh, I didn't like that. Hold on. 180 degrees, whereas complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. There are two basic postulates for working with angles. The protractor postulate assigns numbers to angle measures, and the angle addition postulate relates parts of an angle to the whole angle. Protractor postulate is given any angle, the measure can be put into one-to-one correspondence. So we can give it a number. We can measure an angle. Angle addition, if R is in the interior of angle PQS, then that would mean that angle PQR plus angle PQ or RQS would have to equal the entire thing, which is PQS. That's all that's saying. Two postulates that we can use to prove the following two theorems. The supplement theorem, if two angles form a linear pair, then they are supplementary angles. Supplementary angles forming a linear pair, remember, that would mean that their one side, their common side, would be not their common side, their non-common side would be a linear, a line. So that angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair here. Complement theorem, they add up to 90 degrees. So if the two angles form a 90-degree angle, then angle 3 plus angle 4 would have to equal 90 degrees. So let's look at these two examples. Number 1, if angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair and measure of angle 2 equals 115, find measure of angle 1. So angle 1 and angle 2, they form a linear pair. They're telling us measure of angle 2 is 115 degrees. So 115 degrees plus whatever angle 1 is would have to equal 180. So we get 115 plus measure of angle 1 equals 180. And then subtract 115 to both sides, you get measure of angle 1 is 65. Because 65 plus 115 is 180. And then when we look at number 2, we're looking at a right angle. So right angle is 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So they form a right angle. So measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 has to equal 90 degrees. So measure of angle 1 plus, they tell us that angle 2 is 20 degrees here. So 20 degrees, 90 minus 20 is 70 degrees. So that's what you're doing today's assignment. You're going to add the angles together and find what each measure is worth. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Find the measure of each angle. So we notice that PR is a line. So these two angles, angle 7 and angle 8. So measure of angle 7 plus measure of angle 8 has to equal, they form a line, so they have to equal 180 degrees. And they tell us what measure of angle 7 is. Angle 7 is 5x plus 5, so I'll do that in green so you can see what I'm doing. So measure of angle 7 is 5x plus 5 plus measure of angle 8, which is x minus 5, has to equal 180 degrees. So now I can solve the equation. I have the equation. Now I just solve for x. 5x plus x is 6x. Well, 5 minus 5 cancels out, so I get 6x equals 180. Divide by 6, divide by 6. X equals 30. Now notice, this is not the angle measures. This is just telling me what x equals. To find the angle measures, I need to plug it back in. So measure of angle 7 equals 5x, but x is 30 plus 5. So 5 times 30 is 150 plus 5. 150 plus 5 is 155. And measure of angle 8 is x minus 5, which equals 30 minus 5, which equals 25 degrees. So measure of angle 8 is 25 degrees. Measure of angle 7 is 155. Froze there. Hold up. Yeah. So what we have, we used, we call the supplement theorem. So that's our answer. Measure of angle 7 is 155. Measure of angle 8 is 25. Sorry, not 25. Just 25 degrees. So number 2, again, we're looking and we're seeing that they form a line, so we know that it's the supplement theorem. Because they all add up to 180 degrees. So measure of angle 5 plus measure of angle 6 plus measure of angle 7 plus measure of angle 8 all adds up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to start plugging in. Measure of angle 5 is 5x. So I get 5x. Plus measure of angle 6 is 4x plus 6. So I say 4x plus 6. Plus measure of angle 7 is 10x. Plus measure of angle 8 is 12x minus 12. And that all equals 180. So I'm going to combine my like terms. So I'm going to put all my x's together. 5x plus 4x is 9x. 9x plus 10x is 19x. 19x plus 12x is 31x. So I put all the x's together. Now I can cross those out. Now I'm going to look at my numbers. I got 6 and negative 12. So 6 minus 12 is minus 6. Now my numbers are together. Equals 180. Add 6 to both sides. 31x equals 186. So divide by 31. Divide by 31. And you get x equals 186 divided by 31 is 6. So now I have to just plug it in. So measure of angle 5 equals 5 times 6, which is 30 degrees. Measure of angle 6 is going to be 4 times 6 plus 6, which equals 24 plus 6, which is 30 degrees. Measure of angle 7 is 10 times x, which is 6. So 10 times 6, which is 60 degrees. And then lastly, we have measure of angle 8, which is 12 times 6 minus 12, which is going to be 72 minus 12, which is 60 degrees. And if you notice, 30 plus 30 is 60, plus 60 is 120, plus 60 is 180. They all add up to 180. So there's that problem. All right, so we have 11, 13, and 12. So, but they give us measure of angle 11 and measure of angle 13. So I'm looking 11 and 13. They form a line. So we got measure of angle 11 plus measure of angle 13 equals 180. And we're using the supplemental theorem. Supplemental theorem. So, measure of angle 11 is 11x plus measure of angle 13 is 10x plus 12 equals 180. Put my x's together, so I get 11x plus 10x is 21x plus 12 equals 180. Subtract 12 to both sides. And you get 21x equals 168. Divide by 21. Divide by 21. And you get x equals 168 divided by 21 is 8. So now I know measure, I'll do this in a different color. We'll do measure of angle 11 equals 11 times x, which is 8, which equals 88 degrees. And then notice I'm going to do measure of angle 12. Because it's a vertical angle, it's going to be the same thing as measure of angle 11, which equals 88 degrees. And then measure of angle 13 equals 10 times x, which is 8, plus 12. So you get 10 times 8 is 80. 80 plus 12 is 92 degrees. And those are our answers for this assignment. Any questions, reach out, guys. Have a good day. Bye.